Our next keynote speaker or keynote is titled Facilitating the Shift from Web 2 to Web 3. And our speaker is making his mark at a global level in multiple fields, ranging from sports to technological entrepreneurship. Ladies and gentlemen, please help me welcome to the stage, without further ado, warm round of applause, Mr. Dr. Naveen Singh, please.
Lever I tusen. Om varje dag var som denna skulle jag vilja leva I tusen
Hello everyone, beautiful people. You saw me again. I was just before there. I like the audience so much that I'm back here. Actually, the lightings and everything is amazing. How are you today? All good? Okay, at least some of them are not sleeping. So good start. Quick introduction. Oh, did I press something wrong? Oh yeah. Quick introduction. My name is Naveen. I come from a very niche part. I was a professional athlete into a Swiss team and then came into the IT, and now I'm more than 15 years, not 50. That would be good actually. But more than 15 years in the IT field, developing different kind of protocols, and now from 2019 we are working on a infrastructure project. So everything which you saw, or just my colleague who just presented an amazing presentation, all of these things, they need an infrastructure, and we are a Web3 infrastructure company. The infrastructure companies are basically layer 0, layer 1 blockchains, which start from the fundamental level, and you can pile and build different things on it. So I'm a co-founder and CEO of Einary. It's a layer 1 blockchain for decentralized database management. And our focus is, there are a lot of layer 1s you guys know, and every blockchain is solving one or other kind of issue. Our focus or our niche is only data. And everything which we do in this world, we either are consuming the data, where most of you guys on the phone are doing that, or we are generating the data, or most of on the phone you are also doing that. So it all comes to data. And this is a big, I would not say issue, but it's a big space in data, and the whole data space is completely monopolized or in control by Web 2 companies, or let's say centralized companies, naming lots of them, starting from Google to Facebook to all of them. And we are building a project which is in Web 3 space, so decentralization of the data part. I just want to give you a very basic introduction about the project, because if we go deep in the tech side, it gets a bit complicated, but we want to stay on the basic part. I'm not a techie, so I don't want to get it complicated for me. I'm sure that you guys would understand more about that. But I want to just tell you that the basic part of the data, maybe you guys are not aware of few facts about data which we're going to go through. So the Web 2 issues, the Web 2 is the environment which we are using now. It could be Google, Facebook, Instagram. This is all Web 2. The issues which we have is data privacy and security challenges, monopolistic behavior. You guys have seen that you have run through a search, or you liked something in YouTube or on Instagram, Facebook, Google, sorry. And what happens is you start getting the different feeds or the different marketing campaigns that you want to maybe buy this, that. No offense to that, it's okay. It's actually for our convenience. If we are looking for a pen and they are showing us 10 different variations of the pen, it's good enough. But what happens is they start manipulating our own data, which actually belongs to us, and they start steering us towards something which maybe we don't want, or maybe it was just a pure curiosity, and in the end we end up buying it. So that's what's happening in Web 2. The only reason is that all these guys, they actually own our data. We are not in the control of our data, and that's one of the fundamental issues. As you see, 90% of the websites which are hosted by are just a handful of companies. You guys have gone through it. And then now there is a shift from last few years, well, I would say last 2 years, the shift is coming in the trend from Web 2 to Web 3, where the user, the end user, has a control on the data. And you can see that there are different solutions like the browser Brave, or you have the ledger mail instead of the normal mail, which are based on decentralized solutions or the blockchain solutions. And we are one of the blockchain which can actually cater all these projects on us. Again, as I mentioned before, the rise of Web 3.0 is, projections are very, very bullish, and it's, if you see in 2022 how it went up, and then I think it's going to just go up and up and up. People, or all the end users, for at least their sensitive data, they want to be the owner of their data, or they want to actually be in control who they want to share the data with. That's where we come with the decentralized data management system. So if you see the whole decentralized data management system, these are the numbers maybe you are not aware of. The data market is, data is the new oil. The requirement of the data, the processing of the data, the artificial intelligence is based on data. Everything is some or other way connected to the data. And if you see the data market, it's projected to grow from, let's say, 50 billion in 2020 to 107. So it's more than 200% growth in just the data. So actually, the funny fact is that in last 5 years, we have generated more data than last 50 years. So every year, it's a compounding effect which is happening here. And if you see that all big companies, they are going huge on cloud infrastructure and doing different data centers, hardware and software side. So that shows you how big is the centralized, the whole data market, how big is the data market, and we are one of the early players, or I would say one of the only ones in the decentralized database management system. So why do we need a decentralized data management? Now, we need to have infrastructure, and based on that infrastructure, most of the applications, which we call now dApps, the decentralized applications, or even centralized applications, can harness the benefits of the blockchain. And that's the main goal, to provide a stronger infrastructure which is truly decentralized and which can actually support both Web 2 and Web 3. We want to keep it very simple. We want to keep it very easy to use, because the adoption of the whole blockchain and Web 3 has a one big barrier, and that is actually that it's a little bit tricky, it's complicated. People are not used to of it like they're used to of Web 2, and that's a barrier, and we want to actually remove this barrier, and our goal is to keep it as simple as the existing solutions. So in the back end, you don't know if it's a blockchain, it's a centralized part. The front end should be seamless. So it can be used by any developer. It can be used for any software. Top-notch security. You can do the transition, seamless transition from Web 2 databases to the decentralized database. User-friendly graphic user interface. Integrations from various frameworks like Laravel and all the existing ones. So seamless integrations. And different languages supported, which gives the developers, basically the techie guys, a breather, so they don't have to start from new and start learning something new. We are one of the early ones also which work very closely with the artificial intelligence. So the core of our layer 1 blockchain is also supported by the artificial intelligence-based consensus mechanism. And the Einary DBMS is then the database, the decentralized database, has this AI module. What does it do is quickly process and analyze large amounts of data, supports machine learning. So these things are, easy to say, difficult to implement, but the effects you see are in long terms. When you integrate AI with huge chunks of data, the things can be done are phenomenal. I mean, you have seen, all guys, the chat GPT effect, what's happening now. So in order to handle vast amount of data or huge amount of data, artificial intelligence is very, very efficient, and that's why we are very, very innovative in that part to integrate into decentralization part aspect of artificial intelligence. What are the options we can do with Einary? So as I said, it's a fundamental layer. So being on the fundamental layer, you touch all the aspects which are happening. Just a quick fact that we have more than 15,000 decentralized applications around the world built on different blockchains. You name it, all the blockchains, you can call it layer 2, layer 1, all the applications built on that. I think Polygon itself says that they have more than 10,000 applications built on their layer 2 blockchain. Every of this application is using a centralized database. Now, a database of application is a heart and mind of the whole application. And centralized databases are very prone to hacks. There are somewhere between 15 to 50% of hacks happening in the centralized database space. So this is the issue which we are targeting to solve through the fundamental layer 1 Einary blockchain. And that's why we touch fintech, real estate. We were just before talking about the real estate tokenizations, gaming, identity as a service, or different identities. The gentleman just before was explaining about things. You can do all those things on our blockchain. Then government sector, of course, they can use the benefits of decentralization and security of their sensitive data. Healthcare, again, we were talking about the healthcare data where Germany and Switzerland guys said that it's their private data, but they are ready to share it. So through such an infrastructure project like ours, you can make a value contract and define the terms. How do you want to regulate the data and who do you want to share it with? E-commerce, aviation, telecoms, you name it. So once again, I'm saying we are providing a base for the true decentralization. Even it could be a decentralized exchange, it could be a decentralized application, or it could be a centralized exchange and application. They all can use a decentralized database. With this, the presentation, you can all check us with the QR code. I would just like to have interaction with you, to have a quick question and answer session. Any questions, please?
All right, we've got one question here from the gentleman.
Thank you, Omar.
Thank you, sir. Right there.
So smart contracts always works with a smart contract, only one person to one person. In doing database management, government level, how have you solved multiple access to the data?
So, first of all, smart contract is not from one person to one person. There are different factors which you can put in the smart contract, and the way we work is, it's not a smart contract, we call it value contract, so you can actually define the value of the data, and you can define different aspects of who would have the access of the data. Does it answer your question? Okay. Yeah.
Hi, Naveen.
Hi.
Following some of your work,
Thank you.
good job being done by Inery. Congratulations on that, first of all. Next, like you've been there for a while now, but how is the acceptance? Because I don't see people, getting into that league and following it that much. Do we need to educate as much as you are? Actually, you work really hard while you were doing your posts, and whenever something goes out from your media house or whatever. So, like, there's a need just Einary doing it, or there should be a forum that we actually should come up with and really, talk about this on a larger perspective.
Thank you very much. It's actually a very, very insightful feedback which you have given, and the question you asked. See, we are a technical company, so it's you don't see an impact in terms of the public adoption now because we are in the building phase. But if you talk about the blockchain, we launched our testnet around 4 months ago, and we were expecting to have somewhere around 300, 400 master nodes registered on the blockchain who would test the blockchain. And there are 7 different tasks. We broke almost all the records of all existing blockchains. We have got 2,400 master nodes registered in a span of 3 months. They have gone through, I think, tasks 5 now, 6 and 7 is open. So if you see the adoption of the blockchain, and 36 countries are there located. So having 2,000 plus people testing your blockchain from 36 countries, and that's again, these are the tech guys. To register as a master node is a techie thing. I mean, you and me, we cannot do it, you know. Our focus is about the tech guys because these are the guys who will be using this platform to build different things. You know, you can build another database, you can do a lot on our platform. So that adoption has been phenomenal. Apart from the normal social media part, we have still under the radar. You know, we have not come in the hype. We have not closed our funding rounds with big names. We are just focusing on the building until now. And the building is, once the mainnet is launched, at that time you will see the adoption and more people coming, more people joining. It always takes, if you take any successful protocol now, Ethereum, Polygon, these guys all have needed around 3 years of presence in the market before they really took off. Our presence in market is like 3 months now. But it's a lot of work in the back end. You will see that. It's a long-term project. It's an infra project. So the more projects which will come and build on it, we have tied up with some of the world's big tech companies. And once it starts, the mainnet is launched, once the database is launched, then you will see the adoption of it. And then we will talk again about that. Thank you.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, please round of applause for Dr. Naveen. Thank you very much. Appreciate it. Thank you, sir.